How's it going, people? Welcome back to another episode of the Here's the Craic podcast. Oh, I thought you were speaking to me there.
No,
You're chewing. You are chewing. Anyway, we're back with another solo episode this week. We'll get straight into it. Strange and startling. Let's go.
Here we go.
Anyway, strange and startling this week. I recently got my insurance quote through, and for my car,
For your car.
and it was £300 more than what my normal quote is.
Oh, fuck.
Please, can we discuss? Because we had this discussion the other day in work, and I was like, this is crazy. And apparently this is happening to a lot of people. So my insurance last year was like, I don't know, like $390 or something. And they basically tried to charge me like $710. And when I rung up, they were like, oh yeah, we'll see what we can do. And they done their standard, like, right. I just kind of rung up and was like, listen, we do this all the time. You put it up, I ring up, I say I want it cheaper, you give it to me for cheaper. I say I've got it cheaper elsewhere, you just give it to me for cheaper. So can we just skip all the middle bit and get to that bit? And this ensued for like, I basically had to pay like an extra like 40 quid. So I think my insurance this year was like 410. And I was like, what the? But then I went on and people were actually, this is the thing. People were pricing insurance. So a girl got her insurance quote through. Look at that.
What are you suffering, folk?
Tesco Bank, £18,185.
She's definitely got suspended from driving.
City insurance. Mega deal expires in 13 hours. £66,659.
What?
Mega. Wow. Now look at this one. This must be like an absolute joke. This girl came on and she, basically, I think it's like Aquay or something, part of LV, £392,483.39.
What the fuck? She insuring a Lamborghini Divino or something?
You could buy 2 Lamborghinis for that.
Fucking right.
You can add on excess protection for 75 quid. I mean,
That's nice.
When you were already up to 393 grand, you may as well just add it on anyway for 75 quid.
I'd sooner just chance it out fucking
Have
insurance.
you insured recently? Have found this, or am I just...
Happened me
2
too.
months ago.
I insured
Why?
and my insurance had went up, not much, but then a price everywhere, like compare the market and all that shit, and like everywhere was dear, like, and
Right.
I was just like, that's it.
Yeah. Wonder why.
Mine went up, but it was because the Jetta's a 1.6 and then the BM's a 2-litre twin turbo. So there's a big jump in power. So I think mine went up from 400 to 700 or something. So it was an extra 300.
I can beat you on that.
Yeah?
So my I use a broker, and I've used a broker
Show
ever
off.
since I started driving, just because it's easier. Because they ring me up and go, "This is the price." I go, "Yeah, dead on." They do all the paperwork,
Arn goes, no
everything
sweat.
for
And what
me.
do they take a fee out of this?
Huh?
Do they take like a fee out of it or what?
Yeah, not like it's not said
Aye.
to me. It's just that here's the price. Usually they give me a better deal than I can ever find anywhere else,
Yeah,
and it's a
saves
friend.
you.
It's a friend of my dad as well, and I've been with them ever since I started driving until about 3 months ago. They rang me up. They sent me a letter being like, "Ring us up for your quote because your insurance is up in like 2 weeks." And I rang them up and I was like, "Here, I'm looking at this," and they went, "Yeah, your quote is like," they were like something like £1,080. I went, "Excuse me, fucking what?
What was it before?
What, my car?
Your quote? The year before?
Oh, in and around the 600 mark
Fuck me.
for a 1 litre turbo Skoda Fabia."
That's ridiculous.
Now I have been caught speeding, like, so I've got points in my license.
Does that affect it?
Naughty boy.
Does,
Yeah,
yeah.
of course
Does
it does. Yeah.
Goes up by like a third.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you had to like lose your license to actually get.
No, it goes up, sadly. I actually checked because I got a quote for without the points and I got a quote with the points, and I knew knowing my luck I'd get in a crash if I lied about it, so better being safe than all the rest of it. And it goes up by about a third, and I was like, is that the best you can do? Because like that's went up like 400 quid
Yeah.
just because it's this year, and you know I turned 25 this year too, and I thought it was going to go down, and they went, "Oh, we'll do it," and I went for ages.
Pretended to type.
And it took maybe 5-10 minutes, and he came back and he goes, "No, sorry, Mr. Wallace, that's the best we can do." And I was like, "Well, I'm not renewing."
I'd rather walk.
Yeah, no, I was shite, and I eventually did get it, but I still had to pay over £700. Look, over £700 for a 1 litre
That's ridiculous.
Skoda Fabia.
How long have you been driving?
It's bound to be
7 years.
about 6 years.
6, yeah.
I didn't learn until I was
Back from uni.
nearly 20. No, I was still in university.
Yeah.
I came home to do it. I
You're
did it like
26?
over like 2. I'm coming 26 shortly.
You're old.
Yeah, I know. Ever since I turned 25, I went, I fucking hate being this age.
I'm 26.
But apparently,
What the fuck? Old cunt.
I did look into it. According to ABI, expenses including repair costs, energy costs, and paint costs are among those driving the cost of car insurance up through the roof. So obviously, like the price to like get their like everything's went up.
Yeah.
So like if you go and get your car repaired or spray painted or something, generally costs go up, which means that affects your insurance. Now, I really do argue, you know, if you're sitting there with maybe 7 years no claims, why your insurance should go up that much. Like almost in some cases double for people makes no sense. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out there because it did shock me. And if you have been hit by a high insurance cost, let us know because we bring this up later on in Community Craic in a further episode. But
a hypothetical one here. Someone I may or may not know moved house, and the insurance from a place in the countryside close to the border, beginning with K, was £300 less expensive to insure your car if you said you lived there than in the big city.
Oh, in the big smoke.
In the big smoke.
Yeah.
Really?
The city
I wonder
beginning
who
with
this
B.
is.
Don't know who it's hypothetical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's 300 quid in the difference. So
Bob from the pub.
hypothetical person may have said that they still live there.
Yeah.
So yeah. So if you're if you say you're living in the city, they're going to charge you more as well.
I have heard, hypothetically speaking, if you know people who have you know a relatively large garden or whatever, and have said, "Oh,
That's like saying
I park my car in the driveway,"
Yeah.
makes it cheaper than saying when they actually park their car on like the street.
Locked garage is dear.
A locked garage is dear. Yes, I do know this.
We'll
Yeah.
go. Do you know why? Does anybody know why?
Because
any
I could
I
guesses?
could make an educated
Go
guess.
make a guess.
Is it because a locked garage is more appealing to break into?
No, I think it's because a locked garage incurs, if someone breaks in, the chances are they're going to do more damage, like overall breaking in and try and steal the car.
And risk of fire.
Yeah.
So
Risk
if your
of
house,
fire.
if the thing goes on fire, whereas
Yeah.
if you're parked on a street, if something goes on fire, it's unlikely to catch on your car.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
So never say you put it in your garage.
Say you park it on a a
A street outside a home.
Private driveway.
private
Or a
driveway.
private driveway.
First, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Always.
what I do. So that's good.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
I actually, when I first passed my driving test, I had a Clio from the year 2000.
A what?
A Clio from the year 2000. And
Right.
I obviously had it insured in Ballymena.
Mm-hmm.
And it was around, it was only like £1,200 for the year, which I didn't think was too bad. I was a named
Yeah.
driver and all. And tried to move it to Manchester, where I was living at the time, in Salford.
Yeah.
Now, backstory before I tell you the fucking price. Salford, back then, was the most crime-ridden city in the UK per capita, and the street I lived on was notorious for gang activity. Actually, I lived in a gang house. I was never
Just admit it,
touched.
you're in the gang, like.
I ran it, mate. Guess how much they quoted me for insurance for that,
No
that
idea.
street? By the way, I later learned that I could have just insured it in Ballymena and drove it in England. Apparently, that's not an issue.
That's a thing.
But anyway, guess how much? Number. It cost
£2,000.
£6,000.
Holy fuck.
Did you just guess 6?
Yeah.
Nice. Were you in the insurance company that quoted me that? Yeah,
That's
£6,000.
I see they've actually stopped insuring Range Rovers in London.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you live in
you
London,
can't get them
they'll
insured.
just say no
Yep.
because they're the most stolen car. I think they account for like 50% of the vehicles that are stolen in London.
Wow.
Go
Range
away.
Rovers.
Mental.
Crazy, like. So don't buy a Range Rover and don't live in London.
Yeah. Exactly. But
live in,
good
live
advice.
in, live in
Good-
Ballymena.
I'm actually
Get
quite
and drive a
insure your
Clio.
car.
Yeah. That's mad. That's
Probably be cheaper to rent a house in Ballymena for the year and say that's your home address and then get a policy there and then live in London. Financial advice with the guys.
Yeah.
No, not financial advice with the guys.
No,
sorry.
that's
Here's the finance.
This is not
non-legal
financial
advice.
Non-legal advice.
Yeah.
That's the one.
We are not authorised nor regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority.
Nice.
That's
Good
the
stuff.
speech. But anyway, anything else strange or starting with you boys?
Do you want me to go or do you want to go?
Someone go.
I was going to go. Black Friday is coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to talk a bit about this.
Yeah. At the time this episode comes out, I'm not sure when
Probably
Black Friday.
Black
Yeah,
Friday.
around Black Friday.
So, yeah, some facts. Britain's plan to spend an estimated $3 billion in the 2023 Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales. Black Friday spending is expected to drop by 900 million in 2023, down 23% from a planned of 3.9 billion in 2022.
So they're predicting that people won't spend as much.
No.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The average spend per person on Black Friday in 2023 is predicted to be £113, 40% less than in 2022,
Yeah.
and 59% less in 2021.
I get that.
I could understand that. Yeah.
Like, I'm not, like, it used to be whenever I was living at home, I would have planned to buy stuff at Black Friday that I didn't need, whereas now, like, we went in the other day to try and buy a microwave, and I was like, might be best wait into Black Friday and see what comes up.
Yeah. 8 in 10 Brits from Gen Z plan to spend in the Black Friday sales with an estimated average spend of £176.
I think people might actually spend more this Black Friday, because by the time they think when Christmas comes around, they'll be like, fuck, I can't afford to actually pay full price for things. People might be a bit more organised.
I've got a couple of Black Friday stories, but I wanted to ask you, how big a thing is Black Friday to you? Do you get excited for Black Friday?
I don't think I've ever
It's not the same over here.
participated in it.
The whole
than
American
work.
thing's cool, you know, where, you know, people are queuing up at stores and you're proper getting a bargain. But I feel like the brands and stuff here are maybe putting their prices up a couple of weeks before and then dropping them for Black Friday. I even bought a pair of earrings today. There's a sticker on the back of them, $12.99, 3 for 2 sale on. Pull the sticker off the back of it, $6.99, the old sticker. So they put the price up and then put it in sale for 3 for 2.
Everything's online now though as well. Like, that's
Yeah.
probably why it's not such a big event. Like, but there used to be people queuing up to get like TVs and shit.
See, that's the whole fun of it. Like it was
Is
an
it though?
event. Like, you know, I know you come out of it black and blue, like from baiting people and all. Like, but
Honestly, I was in a garden centre the other week, and it was like newly opened. And whenever we went in, like, no, I wasn't there for the grand opening. I just happened to be there as it was opening.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. Let's have a swizz around here. Went through it. I hated every second that I was there. People bumping into you, kids crying, people just like, and I think, like, I worked in retail, did Black Friday, hated it. People queuing outside. I'm like, get a life and get it online. You know what I mean? But fair. I'm not overly, like, I don't care about Black Friday. Like, I'm not like, oh, like, I like to go on and have a nosy on like Amazon and be like, what's happening here? What's happening there?
Yeah.
But 99% of the time I don't end up buying anything anyway.
yeah, unless there's a really good deal, like I wouldn't be buying anything on it. Like.
There's two. It's either an impulse purchase or a planned purchase that you have on Black Friday.
Yeah.
And if you don't plan a purchase, it's very hard to find an impulse purchase, in my opinion.
I think this year I've already actually started my Christmas shopping, which is quite early.
That's getting
but
prepared.
yeah, because everything's so damn expensive. I want to get started early. But I think this Black Friday I'll probably try and see what I can get for Christmas, even if it's just a few things. Just because like some retailers do really good Black Fridays, and especially online. Like Boots might have good Black Friday stuff in their Christmas department, so that's probably the height of what I'll do. Not going to get that excited about it.
Yeah.
Got a couple of Black Friday stories here. These are from years ago, like, but thought they were good.
Crack on.
I've thrown one punch in my life. It was on Black Friday. So it was the year that the Xbox 360 came out. I was standing in line to get some external hard drive next to the video games, and there was this 11-year-old kid with a woman in her 60s. He's waiting for his 360 bundle. Woman before him had gotten the last one, size all round. Then he says, nope, one more, and begins the motion of handing it to the kid. And this guy comes out of nowhere and pushed the older woman on the kid. The kid hit his face on the edge of a video game rack, you know, the one with the metal and plastic dividers. At 19 years old, I don't know what came over me, but I instantly swung for the dude's head and caught him right in the temple, sending him into a Craic tower in the middle of the aisle. Everyone froze, including me. Guy had dropped the 360 and got up and walked away. I slid it with my foot to the kid, and he didn't say anything either. Best part was, as I still wanted the hard drive returned to get back in the end of the line, at the same time the rep in charge of handing the other items over, such as the hard drive, asked who was next. The first two people in the line just pointed at me, causing me to skip about 5 spots in the line. That's it.
So
Did he get black eye? Did he get black eye?
He didn't get a black eye.
Oh, he gave a black eye.
So he swung at the
There's
guy
no
because he
mention of
cut the
black
queue. Well, that's
Yeah.
not on. That's not
That
on.
was
Like.
a cool story.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
That's the whole fun of it. Like,
I
you know,
remember.
things like that happening. Like.
But not a tramp. Like, this guy was granny and fucking just goes for
I
it. Like.
remember there was
Through the hands, bro.
one time I was on a break from work, and I was in a B&M, and I was in quite a fairly long queue, but there was an older woman packing bags at the front of the queue, and the shop assistant was helping her with, and this guy in front of me just went, some service please, some service please, there, and I was sort of standing going, you actually doing this? And the woman was like, do you know whenever someone's old, but like you kind of look at them and go, you're not overly old, but like they needed some time. So I wasn't really that pushed. I was just kind of like, sit, wait your turn. And then he was like, some service please. And the woman went, sorry sir, can you just hold on for a wee second? And he was like, can someone else not just jump on a till? Like, we're all waiting here, we've places to be. And I was a bit like, dick. And we were all kind of standing there, and then he looked round at me and he was like, this is ridiculous. And I was just like, nah, I think you're being a bit ridiculous. Like, just
you didn't say that to
I did. I said, I think you're being a bit ridiculous. No, I just went, I was like, no, I just went, I think you're being a bit, I was young I was like probably 18 at the time, and I went, I think you're being a bit ridiculous. And he went, well, people have places to be. And I was like, fair, like whatever. But I just kind of like turned around and didn't like acknowledge him, if that makes sense. Like, I'd already kind of said what I needed to say, and I went, oh crap. But as the woman was like getting like her stuff packed, she like turned around and like loaded it into something, and then when she walked off, like you could just tell there wasn't something right, if that makes sense. And when the guy got up, he was just like, that was ridiculous, it took so long. And she went, sir, that woman's actually partially blind, so it takes her a while to, like, when she always comes in here for groceries and we always help her out. And he literally went, oh well, I mean, I suppose you don't know what kind of day other people are having. And the girl behind the counter just made him feel like an absolute dick. And I was like, wow, well done. Yeah.
Remember your guy in Tesco's, working in Tesco's?
Oh my days. Yeah.
Let's not go there.
I don't even want to sing because anyone knows him or
Let's
something.
not go on there.
I've got another one here. Back in like per college days when I worked at Walmart, we had a fight break out over a bike. Fists were thrown and there was some blood. Eventually one guy got a hold of it and managed to get away from the crowd. He rode the bike out of the store to please pursuers without paying.
What a deal.
He just got
Free bike, boy.
I'll be back later.
Free fucking bike.
just flying down the angle.
BMX jumping up on the fucking toes and all, like.
Just grinding. Grinding down the rail.
Ollie, bruh.
Kick flipping and all.
He could have done that any day of the week, for fuck's sake. He's gonna stay that, like.
Oh my days.
He picked the busiest day of the year to do it.
Oh my days. That was great.
So that's that.
Fair players.
Anyway, what's strange just starting on you, Shea?
But this was actually intended to be a question time, but it was very long. But I thought I'd throw it in there. It's a scenario. So there's 5 cave explorers. They become trapped inside a cave following a landslide. They have a limited food supply and no sources of nutrition inside the cave. Above ground, substantial resources are spent to rescue them, with 10 workmen killed in subsequent landslides near the blocked entrance. Radio contact is eventually established with the cavers on the 20th day of the cave-in, and the cavers learn that another 10 days would be required in order to feed them, in order to free them. They then consult with the medical experts, and inform them that they are unlikely to survive to the rescue, given the likelihood of starvation. In the case of the explorers, the person to be eaten was chosen by throwing a pair of dice. One of the cavers, Roger Wetmore, then asked on the cavers on behalf if the cavers could survive 10 days longer if they consumed the flesh of one of their numbers. The medical experts reluctantly confirmed this to be the case. Whitmore then asked if they should draw lots to select a person to be killed and eaten. No one outside the cave was willing to answer this question. Radio contact is subsequently lost. Once the cave-in is cleared, it is discovered that only 4 cavers have survived. Roger Whitmore had been killed and eaten by the others. The survivors stated that Whitmore had originally come up with the idea of cannibalism and choosing the victim through random chance, offering a pair of dice in his possession. Before the dice were cast, Whitmore allegedly expressed a wish to withdraw from the arrangement, preferring to wait another week. The others refused to accept this change of mind and cast the dice on his behalf. The survivors claim that the Whitmore conceded that the dice were thrown fairly. He is subsequently killed and eaten. Following the rescue recovery, the survivors are charged with a number of murder, number of murders for Whitmore. So the question remains: do you believe the situation is one of murder? If they were not forced to cannibalism, they all would have perished. There is some deeper level of legal philosophy to consider, but you were acting as judge. How would you find them?
Guilty.
Of murder?
Yeah.
They had no other option. Though.
It's kind of it's sort of similar to a would I break the law to protect my family? And the answer is yes, of course I would, but I would also expect to be tried.
But
per that law.
The person who died was the one who suggested the method.
If I tell you to kill me right now and you killed me, it wouldn't be like, you asked for it though.
It was a survival thing.
If
But like he brought out the dice.
If he committed suicide,
They killed him. He disagreed.
That's murder then.
Once he threw the dice, or once he threw the dice and realized that he was picked out, he decided he disagreed with it. So after then, they killed him. But he was the one who initiated it. He was the one who said, "Look, we'll roll here."
There, he was like agreed with it. Then
He agreed with that at the start. He was the one who came up with the idea. So
when it was him, he was like, "No."
he supplied the dice, gave them to everyone. Everyone was in agreement. They threw the dice, and then afterwards, once he was pulled, he was like, "Look, I don't want to do this anymore." So they had to do it to survive, and a medical expert said the only way you're all going to survive is if one of you dies and the rest of you eat them.
But surely, like the medical experts, like an accessory to murder, then,
Yeah.
because they, like,
I agree.
Put the idea in place. So.
True. Yes.
But still murder, like, and then cannibalism as well. Like, is that not?
Yeah.
I think the only way to get away with murder is if it's self-defense, not a sort of like.
Even then, like, you wouldn't even get away.
I think there's a law that allows you forced cannibalism. So if someone has died and the only way for you to survive is to eat their body, then it falls under forced cannibalism.
I have heard this in instances like plane crashes and stuff.
But the grey area is the fact they killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Bit dark.
Yeah. No, I think that should be charged.
all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they'd have been safer just dying.
Yep.
Or
Surely
else.
they would have made it, like.
No, that they would only live for 5 days, but the 10 days before the cave was being cleared, so that was being made clear to them.
It's a classic case of survival
Could
of the
someone
fittest.
not have, like, cut their leg off?
It could
I
be.
suppose they could have started feeding each other body parts, like, you know, like everyone sacrifice a leg, there's going to be enough food. There probably is ways around it, which I suppose then sort of murder was an option.
In,
you know,
Murder.
in English common law, there is cases where someone has died of other causes than someone killing them,
yeah,
and they were trapped somewhere, and they then decided to eat the person who died. That, in some cases, was classed as fine, but in all cases in English common law where someone was killed to be eaten, every single person was found guilty of both murder and cannibalism.
Wow.
But cannibalism in itself is also a crime,
yeah.
so you would still have to be tried even if you didn't kill them. So you might not get scot-free.
Wow. Mm.
Moving on.
Cannibalism, am I right?
I know, have you ever done light entertainment before?
That's a theory they use in law school.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, so
That's
it's to teach future lawyers.
I suppose
What
it's
to
to separate morality from law. Yeah.
Anyway, from cannibalism to community crack.
Here we go.
So this week I'm taking over this segment. I asked some people on Instagram who follow us, was there any weird and wonderful things that you've ever spent money on? Anything like completely stupid that you've spent money on? I suppose this comes from the whole Black Friday chat. Any impulse purchases that you've made? Before I get into what the community have said, and anything from you guys, is there anything when you look back on it you go, that was a stupid purchase to make? Aaron?
I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There's bound to be something like.
Yeah. You seem like a very impulse purchase type of person. Yeah.
I don't really think about it as fast.
What about you?
I did take a spouted band shit off Amazon during lockdown,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought some stupid shit during that, like,
Mhm.
because you had like money to spend that you weren't spending on your day-to-day living.
Mm-hmm.
I started painting my room and, you know, doing that like framing and shit around it.
Yeah.
And then I done it and was like, why the fuck did I bother doing this? I
Yeah.
went and bought like a load of tools to do it and all.
Yeah.
Just wasted a shit ton of money like that. And then what else like? Just crappy wee gadgets and shit like
Yeah.
during lockdown.
So someone said on Instagram that they bought Kinder Buenos in bulk from Amazon. I then messaged the person and said, I think I said, when we're talking in bulk, what are you talking, bro?
Yeah.
And he replied, it basically said, I bought 30, which is I feel is acceptable.
That's a week's worth.
I
like.
do feel is acceptable. He also then followed up by saying, I've just bought another bulk. I was like, right, you
So
may
he
have a problem.
Didn't regret it then.
Someone said the most impulse purchase that they ever made was an NFT monkey. I do think crypto would probably be up there with like, you know, really impulse purchases.
You think it was an impulse because you spent the time putting the research in, but I suppose at the time it was because you were jumping on the trend like.
Yeah. Someone said that a 10-speed dildo with detachable tops. So
Same.
I think probably the most impulse purchase I've ever made when I look back on it now would probably be my bike. Because it was just over lockdown and you just got made redundant from Car from Warehouse and I had this big fat redundancy paycheck and I just blew it all on the bike. So when I look back at it now, I think that was kind of stupid. Should have saved my money. But then it also got me thinking, like, what are some of like the weirdest things? We obviously had a chat a couple of podcasts back ago about all the things that RTE spent money on.
Yeah.
And I actually Googled what are some of the strangest things or some of the like wackiest things that businesses or people have expensed back. And I found a couple. So there was employee, one of big massive chain of like a big massive brand with multiple chains of offices, and one of the offices decided to buy a massive giant rock climbing wall as an employee perk. Nice. Because the expense reason was it was to try and get more people to come and work from the office. So they actually had it, you know, when you're looking through like a job application, it's like reasons why you should come work for us. They had it. The reason why they wanted to like expense it was to say we have a rock climbing wall in our office. Yeah. So that was one of them, which I thought was pretty bizarre. There's this one which I'd like to actually get your opinion on, right? So when volcanic eruptions disrupted air travel across major parts of Europe, a digital leadership associates consultant had to find an alternative mean to get back home, and at significantly higher costs, but that was beyond approved limits. So the consultant drove from Warsaw in Poland to Brussels in Belgium to board the Eurostar to London, and then upon arrival he submitted business travel expenses for the actual cost of the entire trip. So I googled how far it is from Warsaw to Brussels. Actually I've lost it here, but let me get it back up again.
Why did he drive from Warsaw to Brussels?
To get the Eurostar.
To go to
London.
To go to London.
Rather than take a plane?
Yeah.
Surely you can't
The,
go that much different in price.
the quickest route is 1,300 kilometers.
So all air travel was banned because of it. But according to the company CEO, like he was actually praised the guy and said that common sense prevailed at a corporation level and the normal rules were placed on hold. Sometimes nature happens and the employee was praised for finding a way around it. Obviously, like had to get home, all that there. There was a couple. There was another couple. Another one was a giant dinosaur was expensed back for company decor, which I thought was a bit weird. Like. And then also an activewear company, Outdoor Voices, spared no expense when it came to making their stores aesthetically appealing. And in 2018, a store manager expensed $22,000 on Maison Louis Marie No. 4 candles. So she bought £22,000 worth of candles. They also spent $45,000 on flowers and $36,000 on Topo Chico bottled water. So,
jeez.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit weird, but
it's a bit like us and tote bags.
Exactly. Yeah, and stickers and balloons. Yeah. Thought that was a bit weird, but what was yours then? What would you? What? Just Amazon stuff over lockdown?
Amazon shop. Charger fucking routers that you'd stick on your desk and you like run the wire through the thing, but you're like you use them for 5 minutes and then they just fucking break.
Yeah.
Like,
What about you, Aaron?
Off
Have
the top
you
of my
thought-
head, there's probably a better one.
You're big for subscriptions. I think you've told me you subscribed to something before, and I was like, why did you need that? And you were like, I don't know.
Pornhub.
Yeah, well, I was going to tell you one that's actually is. It's
Oh,
kind of
go.
not really a subscription, it's more like a contract. But when I first moved into my house, when I moved back here from Manchester, we were going to be without internet for a good week or two or something. This was like when lockdown happened, so they needed. I don't think Sky knew like how to navigate this themselves, so they couldn't send someone out straight away. So I was internetless for a good while, but this was also before shops fully shut. So I went into Curry's and I bought one of them, you know, them like 4G, 5G hub boxes, things that just run off like battery power. I bought one of them with like 200 gigabytes of data on it, and I thought that'll do me until Sky get the internet in. And they were like, I was like, what's the lowest contract you have? And like, you can just do a monthly rolling contract. So I got it, right? And forgot to cancel it.
Oh fuck.
I think I cancelled it after I moved out of that house, which was about 3 years later.
Oh my god.
Well, did you not notice it coming out of your bank account?
Nah,
Too much money.
Loads of money.
Man, it's so much
Let
money.
me see how much that was.
I was gonna buy one of those for my car one time.
How many months are in
Before
3
3G
years?
was a big thing,
Yeah,
you know, you couldn't
yeah.
really get it in most places. I was like, I will be the shit if I get one of these and stick it in my dashboard. I can connect, because I had like the TV radio in the car, so like I could have connected to like nothing actually.
Yeah. Very impulse purchase.
Just thinking now, like, I was like, it'd be cool to have internet in your car. Like.
Internet for the first month of me living in that house, or the first couple of weeks living in that house, cost me £1,296.
That is fucking cat.
That's ridiculous. But
Fair
anyway,
play, fair
That's a
uh,
holiday, look.
let us know in the comment
That's
section
mad.
what is the weirdest, wonderfulest thing that you've spent money on. Any impulse purchases, any stupid purchases. We would love to hear from you. But anyway, moving on to the next segment. Am I the asshole? Tommy, you're up.
Me.
Here we go.
Am I the asshole for giving my wife the silent treatment when she lost her wedding ring? Yesterday night, my wife lost her wedding ring. She took it off during her weekly martial arts class, didn't look for it until she got home, found out the ring must have fallen out of her training bag somewhere between the gym and home. Didn't tell me she'd lost her ring. I found out from my kids instead. Her wedding ring has strong sentimental value to me. I bought us matching gold bands when we married, and each year on our anniversary I go to a jeweler and have one diamond set into the band. Number 14 was added a few months ago.
Fucking hell.
It's quite literally irreplaceable. She'd come home while I was getting dinner ready, and she went straight to have a shower. When my kids told me she'd lost her ring, I immediately went searching for it, emptied the training bag, checked the car, came up empty-handed. I didn't say anything at dinner, she didn't say anything either. We both went to bed without speaking. I woke up this morning, made the lunch boxes for our kids, got ready for work, and she got up as I was leaving and asked me if I'm upset. Said it was about the ring and left. The ring is a thing, not a person, and therefore not as important as my wife or our relationship, but it's also a symbol full of meaning, and it's infuriating to know it's gone and she didn't take better care of it. Put in her purse or somewhere more secure than rolling around loose in a gym bag. Am I the asshole for giving her the cold shoulder?
No. I don't think.
But obviously she's lost it by she didn't purposely go out to lose it,
But
and maybe she thought,
I think
I'm not
seems
going
to
to say
me-
anything yet because it might turn up before he notices.
It seems to me she doesn't give a fuck.
It's hard to
know.
it's hard to know.
Yeah.
It is hard to know because I'm sure she's probably feeling as shit about it. But then also, I think, you know, there is stages where you need to take responsibility for things and understand that, like, you know, I'd be pretty gutted if Lucinda lost her engagement ring, but I also would know.
Even more good at it if you put 14 diamonds in her.
I know,
now.
but like
Jesus.
at the same time, it would also to me it's it's
Thanos wouldn't have a look in it.
I don't know. I'd need to be in the scenario to know
I
how
think
I
like
feel.
it's the gym bag thing. Like
Aye.
I think like if you know you're going to do that,
Yeah.
you're taking it off. Like fucking take it off in the house. Like.
Yeah, Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But you would never think of that before doing it. Like, you'd be like, oh, I'm just going to stick it in my gym bag, which is probably zipped closed. It's not going to go anywhere. Like,
You sound like someone who's never bought an engagement ring.
but haven't.
Fuck, I don't
But
know.
after
I just
14
think us
years, like,
bullshit, like,
if you haven't lost it after 14 years,
I know, but
like, you're not going to be constantly thinking, oh, I can't lose
I
this.
suppose you get comfortable.
Yeah.
But like, I just think it's inexcusable. Like,
Is this not what insurance is for? Like?
but you can't.
Yeah,
like,
but insurance
that's-
will never replace.
Irreplaceable.
Yeah.
Every year he's putting it
That's
down.
the
on
meaning.
it.
I think it's easy for the guy, and I know you're gonna hate this because but I'm only playing devil's advocate here. So, like, in the purpose of discussion, I think it's different when you're the person buying the ring, because you were the person who departed with said money for the ring.
Yeah.
So, like, I think you look at the ring and go, this is how much this is, and it means a lot to me, and I worked hard to get to give that. But then also, I don't, like, I look at Lucinda's engagement ring and wedding ring and stuff, and I just think, like I'm of the opinion at the moment, I'm like, it is what it is. Like, it doesn't, you know what I
just a
mean?
ring.
It's a symbol. It's not like, my world's not going to end if this slides off her finger. But I think you have a right to be annoyed whenever someone hasn't took good care of something that
Yeah.
should be important.
I think it's the behaviour that she's
Yeah.
acted like.
What do you mean?
Just like coming home, not saying anything, not really caring. Like.
Yeah, and I
And,
think
like, putting it in a gym bag. As
Did
well.
it say she didn't care though?
No, but that's what I think.
I think maybe she's come home. She's like, it's gonna show up.
I
I'm
know,
not
but if that was
saying.
you, like, I just don't think you'd be coming home and just like going up the stairs without saying anything. You'd
Yeah.
be like, shit, like.
You probably come
panicking.
home looking for it. Like.
She went and had a
See-
shower
See, did you leave it there, or
and came down for dinner and didn't mention it.
maybe she went up to the room? She said she was having a shower and she went looking for it in the bathroom and stuff. Like you don't know what she's thinking in her head. Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
like she. could
and
be
I
like,
also think
"Oh,
if the shoe was on the other foot, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
if he lost his wedding ring and it was that much sentimental value, do you know what I mean? Like, accidents do happen. I get what you're saying, 14 years.
yeah,
And I would also say it comes back to a previous episode where we talked about, like, if it's at that much, if you're gonna be that, like, pedantic and, like, have that much sentimental value over something, you should kind of know the risks you're taking when you take it out of the house.
you're wearing it out. Like, yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's something that, like, I know whenever I, you know,
it's like if someone had like a anime T-shirt and they brought it out
no,
and they
please.
wore it out
Yeah.
rather than leaving it framed up.
Yeah. So
These
what's
episodes are going out so far from each other. This just
what's your thoughts then? Your thoughts is he's not the
I
asshole.
get what you're saying. Like, I don't think he's the asshole for giving her the cold shoulder. Like, but I don't know. You could argue like him ignoring it as well is like he could have backtracked to the gym or something
Went looking for it.
Yeah.
instead of just sitting there huffing. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Fair.
do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
maybe he's as bad as her for not being like, the kid said you lost your ring.
Yeah.
What the
fuck are you gonna do?
Are you okay?
No, where
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
I suppose her
Okay.
feelings haven't really been taken into account during this. Like,
Did you have your AirTag on it?
Diamond.
Anyway,
One of them diamonds could have been a tracker.
next one. What else have you got for us?
Am I the asshole for telling my infertile in-laws that their dog is not equal to a child? 2 years ago, my husband, 34 male, and I, 33 female, became pregnant. This was huge for us, as we both have always been really passionate about becoming parents. Before we could tell anyone, my husband's brother, 35 male, and his wife, 38 female, told the family that they had been trying to conceive but found out they couldn't.
That's annoying.
They were devastated and were heartbroken. They were devastated and we were heartbroken for them.
So you're gonna start crying there?
My husband and I decided to hold off on announcing. We waited 3 months, but then I was starting to show and we had no choice.
Yeah.
A week after we announced, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law adopted a dog named Bella. Immediately, she was all they talked about and they had refused to go anywhere without her. We used to be close, but this has ruined our relationship with them. My husband and his brother don't hang out anymore because my brother-in-law is so obsessed with Bella that he's hard to talk to. Brother-in-law has lost friends over the obsession and sister-in-law has quit her job so she doesn't have to spend any time away from the dog. We even stopped our weekly family dinners because Bella barks non-stop, pulls food off the table, bites, etc. She's a nightmare. Plus my husband is allergic and he can't be around her longer than an hour anyway. Brother-in-law and sister-in-law call Bella the first grandchild or the first last name girl. There hasn't been a girl born into the family in 5 generations, which bothers me because my daughter's those things, not the dog. They think my daughter and their dog should be treated equally and get upset when they are not. Even when I gave birth and people were reaching out to check on me and my daughter, they sulked and made a long post on Facebook saying they were hurt. No one had done the same for them when they adopted their dog. I've been biting my tongue about it for over a year because I know that they are coping with an extremely painful situation. But this week I finally snapped. Recently a relative invited us and the baby to their wedding, but told my in-laws explicitly not to bring Bella. On Sunday, as my husband and I were just about to leave his parents' house, I heard brother-in-law saying that if his dog wasn't invited, then my daughter shouldn't be either. Why should they get to bring her if we can't bring Bella? They say things like that all the time, but this time I finally snapped and said, because Bella is a dog and my daughter is an actual human baby, my child and your pet are not the same. We left, but later my brother-in-law called my husband to say that I had really hurt them and made my sister-in-law cry. My husband says that I shouldn't have said anything and should take it back. I know their dog is like their child, and I don't mean to be cruel or insensitive, but I am also so tired of hearing them compare my daughter to a dog, and I don't want her to grow up around people who think she is equal to a poorly behaved animal. Am I the asshole?
I don't think so. Like,
that is a complex situation.
Like, this is like a year worth of putting up with that bullshit.
So
I feel like this is messy. Like,
they are, in my opinion, and like people may get annoyed at me for saying this, they're grieving and they need to go see someone.
Yeah.
They are in a very emotional state and their outlet is this dog and they need to go see someone. They have, I think, one part has to accept that if you cannot have a child and you're watching someone live a life which you cannot have, that takes an emotional toll.
Yeah.
I also do think, though, that the other half need to accept that they have been dealt a really shit hand, but they can't take that away from, because you cannot compare. I'm sorry, you cannot compare a dog to a child.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I feel like, yeah, I think that like there obviously is people who don't want to have kids and like care about their pets like that, but like at the same time, I don't think they're as delusional to be like, why was my dog not invited to your wedding?
So
like,
this is the thing. Like if me and Lucinda had a dog, and Shea and Aoife had a child, and you went, come to my wedding in August, and I went, well, no, because you didn't invite my dog, but you've invited Shea and Aoife's wedding.
Yeah.
And you went, I'm not even having this conversation because it's not, the two are not.
I'm like quitting your job to look after the dog, like.
Yeah.
But then again, I think they are using the dog as a way, you don't have to be a psychologist or a therapist to understand that maybe the reason why that woman has quit her job is because she's going through something.
Yeah.
And the dog is just the easiest thing to go, I need help and I'm quitting work to look after this dog. It's more I'm quitting work because I'm in pain of some emotional pain. Like,
sounds like both of them seriously need to go see a shrink.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
they need to go see someone.
Also for saying
no, I don't think so. I think
which one?
The woman saying
just snapping.
Yeah, no.
Under them circumstances, no. Like if it
I
was
think
like,
she should apologise though. I think she should be.
I think she needs to be a bit more empathetic towards her. Like,
look, shouldn't have said it like that, but at the same time, like,
I'm sorry.
This has been building up, and like you need to fucking wise up. Like.
See that's a bit like it's been building up. Obviously, she's got annoyed about them saying it's their child and stuff like that, which I don't think she should be getting annoyed at. But it's the wedding thing. I think that's a bit much. Like, but
I can see, like she probably should have brought it up in a bit better way. But this is like why you don't let things build up.
I think if I was in their scenario, I think if I was in their scenario, you'd be looking at it from a logical perspective and saying, okay, I appreciate and I accept that you guys are hurting. Like, it must hurt to like look at a family and go, they have what I wanted, but I can't have it. But then I do think the other side, who are hurting, who probably need more attention in a way, should also realize that they're kind of being dicks for, like, just because they have been dealt a shit hand doesn't mean you have to like take that out, and like having a baby's like a big thing and they're kind of taking that away from them. And if I, like, you know, I don't think that's a dead on way to be. Like,
grandchild thing as well.
Yeah.
I, like, to be fair, that was like, it depends what context it was said in. Like, you know, someone says it as a bit of a joke and it's like, haha, right, move on.
Yeah.
But like the whole, well, what the hell do you mean my dog's not invited to your wedding whenever his child's invited to the wedding? That's ridiculous. That's where things start to get a bit like...
But losing friends and all over it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they've kind of got a bad attitude about
like,
it.
surely no, someone should have said, like, if the brother should have said something to the other brother, like, he should have been like, look, come on.
And
I think his... It depends what his... I know he didn't go into much detail. I know his... Like, her husband was saying that she should apologise, isn't it? And,
Yeah.
But, like, I wonder how... What side he's taking there? Like, is he going like,
the
you should apologise, but you're right, or is he just going, you're fully in the wrong here?
It depends how she snapped as well. Though. If she like snapped, like, was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Just exploded
Like,
with it.
put the dog across the driveway.
Like, drove over the dog.
They really should have addressed all of this a year ago, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Like a year with, when you need therapy, a year without therapy is quite a long
like, if
time.
personally, if I was in their scenario, I'd be like, I'm really worried about my brother.
Yeah.
Because the way he treats this dog is just not, goes above the level of more. Like, I love dogs. I don't have a dog at the moment because I'm out of the house, but whenever I was living with mum and dad, like, I had a German Shepherd, devastated whenever it died.
Yeah.
But like, at the same time, would I be going here? You know, it was alive at the time of my sister's wedding. Was I turning around and being like, here,
let me bring it to you.
I'm actually getting a suit for the dog here. Don't bring it along. Oh, sorry. What do you mean? My dog's not coming, but his child's coming. What?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're not comparing on that, like.
So complex situation.
Yeah.
Messy.
Anyway, that was actually a really good one. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Deep in thought. Let us know what you think in the comments section. Love to hear more of this. But yes, into question time.
Here we go.
I'm actually stealing this off our colleague Neil, because he said it today, and I thought
Shout
it was really,
out, Neil.
that was a really good question. Actually, I thought I'm going to steal that.
Oh.
I have not informed him of that, so I'm sorry.
Sorry, Neil. Neil
Right.
with a double L.
You are going to be given a year sabbatical from your job, and you're going to get paid the same, so don't worry about this. You have 1 year to train for any Olympic sport in time for the Paris 2024 Olympic Games next year. What sport are you picking? And you can't come last. If you come last, you get shot in the head.
Is the idea here to pick something that you're quite good at, so you don't have as much, you can put more into it and get a better chance of winning?
You've got a year to train, and you're not allowed to come last.
I would pick
tough one.
badminton.
You think
Easy.
you would
I'd
come
say fucking badminton's tough.
Badminton.
out of... Is badminton in the Olympics?
Yep.
I'd pick golf.
It is.
He'd
You think you would come above last in golf?
Yeah.
If I had a year and was practicing every day,
I'd quit your job now. Fucking do it.
no.
We'll pay you.
But he's getting the
If I was getting paid,
Yeah,
like,
he's getting paid.
if you were to practicing
You
every
wouldn't
day,
be as good as like top golfers if
you
you had
only
a
have to,
year.
you
Like,
only have to have a couple of good rounds, like.
Sorry.
you have to win the whole thing.
And as well as
No,
that,
you just don't have to come last.
You don't say you have to win.
No.
No.
At least you have to go. All right.
can't
okay.
come last.
Okay,
You
fair
can't
enough.
come last.
Right.
So
And
it's
as-
not like you can just do something that's a bit fun and do fuck all and come last. You cannot come last.
and as well as that, he may not be as good as Tiger Woods, but he just has to be better than a certain person on that day.
Brooks
Yeah.
Koepka.
Like, the odds are astronomically tilted
It's
out of
very
his favor.
unrealistic, like,
But there is a possibility in some world or in some day he could walk out onto Portrush golf course and smash McIlroy.
Yeah.
It's unlikely, but
I would.
That's a lot of betting in not dying.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd be strategic about it. I'd get a British passport
Oh my god.
and go play for the England football team, because then they can carry me. Surely if they're one man down in the Olympics, they can beat like teams like Kazakhstan and
Do you think
stuff.
you'd
Like.
be good enough to get into the team to go?
But you're going to get into it anyway. Like,
Oh no, yeah,
it's
like,
a given that
you've
you're in
got,
it.
You've got a free pass.
So if I'm the 11th man, you know, it's like playing with a player
Suppose
down.
That's a good shout.
They're going to carry me to beat like
I don't
shitter
know.
teams in the first few
I
rounds,
mean,
so you're not going to come last.
We did see what he was like at the five-a-side football tournament in
Bro,
Nets.
I'll say
Telling-
ball.
I mean,
Yes.
he just has to be better.
Similarly, I would play rugby. I
Yeah.
think me given a year to train for rugby, I think I would quite easily come above last, especially if you're going up against teams that just aren't rugby
Yeah.
teams.
I do like the golf scenario, but I'm going to try and be different and say badminton. I used to play badminton
What
when
if
I
you
was
had
younger.
to pick because you two picked a single person sport, what
If I had to
non-team
pick-
sport for the Olympics? Has to be in the
Oh my
Olympics.
God.
I'd probably pick mountain biking.
I would probably
Yeah.
pick football.
I think if you had a year to train, you wouldn't come last. Mountain biking,
I don't think so.
Just takes one boy to fall off.
true.
Yeah,
There we go.
just don't fall.
Just don't fall.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't get disqualified.
I would probably pick football because I enjoy playing football. If I'm going to take a year off and train for something, I'd rather it was something I enjoyed and I got paid for it.
And what would you do for a single event?
Boxing.
Non-team box. Jesus.
Oh, fuck, eh?
All you have to do is smash one person, like.
Who would you be going up against?
Well, you're going to be going out against the shitter ones in the first rounds, like, and you
Yeah,
might
I suppose
fucking
if you just be one person,
one person you have to beat, like one knockout,
what
one
if you get
punch.
someone really good?
You're fucked
You're
then, like,
dead.
you're dead. But if it was a single sport, I'd go for that because you could just land one good punch and that could be you. Like,
Yeah, fair enough. Fair.
it can be hit or miss. Excuse the pun.
For
Yeah.
play.
What else have you got for us, Arn?
So, last question. Go back to the early 2000s.
Ooh,
We were all children.
I'm back.
we were.
And hopefully, just for the sake of this question, we all had televisions.
Good.
What
We
was
did.
your favourite kids' TV show?
Mine was
Let's limit this to like primary school.
Jungle Run.
I
Jungle
so
Run.
wanted to go on Jungle Run.
Jungle Run. You know, at the end, whenever they did the whole thing, and then they went through and they got the golden monkey, and then the thing shut, and you genuinely were like, "These kids are trapped in there forever."
I used to get so frustrated
that was my
with the jigsaw
childhood.
thing.
Yeah,
Teamwork doesn't
Oh,
work in that sort of
yeah. It was the
scenario.
one
like,
where I'd be like, if I was in there, I'd smash
I'd
that.
tell you to
Project
get out of the
manager.
road.
I would
Let me
smash.
in there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it
would
was
get that
frustrating.
golden monkey.
I thought it's the likes of them shows too. You'd sit back and watch them like, I could do that so easy.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
Do
easy.
you remember 50-50?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was
it
good.
was
One.
good. Yeah,
That
So
was
you're gonna say
that was presented
smash
by a
that
girl
one
from
too,
here,
Was it?
Belfast girl. Yeah,
Was that your girl, Zoe someone?
I don't remember.
salmon.
Zoe Salmon,
Was
Hmm.
it Zoe salmon?
yeah. She was on Blue Peter and all.
Yeah, from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was her.
Uh,
Blonde girl.
And it was like
Yeah.
schools
Yeah,
went
she's
and
from
all.
here. Yeah, it was a school thing, wasn't it?
My school was on that.
Ben 10.
Ben 10. Love it. Did you have to watch whenever you were young?
See, I didn't have
You're a
Sky
liar.
whenever I was
I
younger,
actually didn't.
so I never had any of those channels.
You didn't have Sky?
No.
You had
we only got
CBBC and
Yeah,
CBT.
so some Mona the Vampire, loved it. Like. Oh yeah. And then whenever my auntie had Sky, so I'd used to go up to her house and you like stay on like a Friday night or something like. And I loved Kim Possible, like. But it was like a guilty pleasure whenever you were a young boy. You're like, I can't be watching this with this girl. She's flipping a body like.
She's a body.
And someone would come
body.
in, you turn it off like.
Oh.
What? No, I'm watching a boy show. I'm watching Ben 10.
Digimon?
I
Did you,
I loved Ed and Eddie.
I never watched Digimon.
That was good.
Not Pokemon. Yu-Gi-Oh.
Does anybody ever remember a
Mhm.
show on Disney XD called Iron Cross?
No.
It was about
Aaron Cross.
name
is it?
Aaron-
sounds familiar.
Iron Cross. It was a really good program. I watched it for a while. It was basically this theory that it was kind of like completely different, but kind of like Gran Turismo, where it was like the best player in the game became the character.
Right.
So it was Iron Cross, and it was basically like this action man.
You sure it
was
wasn't
it-
Aaron Stone?
Iron Stone. That was what it
Oh.
was. Iron Cross. Where did I get that from? Iron Stone. Yeah. So basically, this guy was like the top rated player in this video game, and if he was the top rated player in the video game, he became the character to actually and the game was based around real life baddies.
Right.
Baddies as in bad guys,
Yeah.
not bad women.
I don't think I watched it. No.
Yeah.
Codename Kids Next Door was a good one.
Yeah.
When I got to watch Sky.
Drake and Josh.
Drake and Josh.
Zoe 101 was good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used
Anyone
to
remember
Hannah
Trapped?
Montana as well.
Trapped,
on
yeah.
Trapped,
CBBC?
yeah.
I used to think they were actually dead.
What was the one?
You
the
don't
other
remember
one,
that? Does that-
Raven or something?
Does that ring a bell?
Just Raven.
No.
Does that ring a bell?
Never did that.
Vaguely,
Right.
yeah.
It was
Disney
good.
XD is
It was
pretty
good.
new.
Like,
Is that not
yeah.
like
Wasn't you-
late?
Disney
That's more
XD?
high school.
Is that like
wasn't
2015?
No,
Late?
first episode of Orange Stone was
Tens?
13th of February 2009.
it? Well, that's very specific.
I used to
Mhm.
love Doctor Who when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David Tennant.
It's
Good.
Unreal. And Sergeant Adventures.
I did stumble across A Sweet Life of Zack and Cody the
Oh,
other day.
yeah,
I remember.
that's good. It was good.
Yeah. So Ashley Tisdale's had such a crush on her when I was younger.
Mhm.
High School Musical.
Who was your
Excellent.
crush in those shows?
My crush, because I recently came back across her again in another program, Peyton List. Do you remember her?
Yeah.
She was in Jessie.
Yeah. She was in Paranormal Activity, wasn't she?
I don't know what she was in.
No,
but I
she's
came-
in The Karate Kid. The new Karate Kid. That's what she's in.
I used to have
Oh,
a mad crush on
Selena
her.
Gomez.
Really?
Wizards of Waverly Place.
I always.
Tell me more.
Mine was Miley Cyrus.
Oh yeah, Hannah Montana.
But then she shaved the head.
Mine was
It's fine.
Ariana Grande when she was in Victorious
Oh,
on
nice.
Nickelodeon.
What a shit.
Same, but I
Yeah.
was 21
Victoria
at that time.
Justice though. Tell me more.
Yeah.
Or your girl from iCarly, whoever she's called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was Peyton List. So, yeah.
Moving on.
We're just
and
talking
then-
about girls from 10 years ago.
I know. I always remember.
16.
I always remember when I was younger when I walked in and my sister always watched Neighbours. You know the show Neighbours.
He's
Well,
always
Yeah.
gone for The Simpsons.
Yeah.
There's always
I
like
always
what was
walked
the
in,
half
seen-
5 neighbours, 6 o'clock
seen,
Simpsons.
seen these women in bikinis, and I was like, I can't be watching
Naughty.
this. My ma will kill me.
Naughty.
But anyway, what was your favorite TV program as a child? What would you bring back? What would you rebirth?
I know there's one in my head there, and I just cannot think of it. Like, I don't know what it is.
I would rebirth Jungle Run.
Jungle
Definitely,
Run.
it just
Yeah.
really takes me back. What would you rebirth, Tommy?
I'd like to see like a Ben 10 film,
Yeah,
like an actual one, good one. Like.
yeah.
Dexter's
Did they
Laboratory.
do a film about it? Like,
Adventure Time.
Oh.
I still watch it, like, but yeah, Adventure
Time's
Time was
good.
probably whenever we were in our teens, wasn't it? It's pretty new, like.
Well, what would it bring back?
Yeah.
This is maybe a controversial answer because it kind of bends the rules. But I'd bring back The Simpsons, but with the original writing team from like seasons 3 to 8.
Seen a thing on TikTok the other day about it, the drop off after season 10 on The Simpsons. It's like the ratings have been below
It's
5,
Tanks, yeah.
and it was like everything was above 8, and then there was one episode or something after that. It just went to shit after that. Like.
The episode
It's
that
like you can't kill it.
basically marks the death of The Simpsons is one from the 2000s where Principal Skinner is
His
found out
identity.
to be a fraud, and it turns
Yeah.
out there was a Principal Skinner in Nam, and the Principal Skinner we all know stole his identity because he thought he was dead, to come back and have this principal job and be a hero, because Principal Skinner, the original one, was a hero in Vietnam,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
the current Principal Skinner, it just turns out to be an imposter of him.
And they made like a reference to Judge in it during that episode. It was like, this is how it is and how it's going to be from now on, and everyone will forget about this
Yeah.
in the episode, and then just went downhill from there. Like.
Mm.
But you can't kill it now, it's a beast.
Conan O'Brien was a writer on The Simpsons.
He was, yeah.
Fun fact.
Fun fact. Anyway, let us know in the comments section if you were to bring back one childhood TV show, what would it be, and why? If we missed out any of your top list, let us know. Get in touch. But yes, we'll wrap it up there. Until next time. Goodbye.
Right.